Welcome back to Cook It Like Crawley in the Wild. I'm Liam Crawley and we're going to take you this episode down to the beautiful Sussex Inlet. We're going to go coastal foraging for some gorgeous wild edibles along this amazing river system. Then we're going to go and catch some beautiful Australian seafood down on the beaches. We're also going to show you how to set up the best mud crab traps in New South Wales, and hopefully we get some to be able to show you at the end. So let's go on an adventure and let's get started. Double header here of Australian species. We've got a baby bream, we've got a little whiting. You can tell they're both undersized, so we'll be sending them back into the water. But just a classic example of some of the fish that are on offer down here on the south coast. So we're down here and it's a bit cold and stormy for day 2 of our trip. It's beautiful, about 34 centimetres sea whiting. That's nice, loud and bright, absolutely beautiful. Simplicity straight out of the gorgeous water down at Sussex Inlet. So we've got this beautiful Australian salmon that we've cooked on this morning. Absolutely gorgeous. Take a look at that. This makes an absolute perfect dish. Perfect dish, fillet it up. We can crumb it, we can do just about anything with it, but this is an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Beautiful. There we go guys, another Australian salmon. Very, very popular on the east coast, all around Australia actually, in all sorts of conditions, but beautiful clean fish. Might actually use this for bait today. Absolutely gorgeous little number. So he's taken that hook just through the lip and we're gonna get cracking. So we've got a fish on. Beautiful morning. Feels like a nice heavy one. Give it a bit of a shake. Nice place behind us. So we've got a baby Port Jackson. These are the kind of catches you get when fishing near rocks. So we're going to get the hook out of this mouth and we're going to release it back into its natural habitat. Nice little baby Port Jackson. So we've come down here by the river, we've got this brilliant system behind us which is absolutely full of fish. We're going to about to set some traps down to get some mud crabs for the rest of the day and tonight. But as I was walking around, I found this beautiful samphire growing on the edge of the banks. We've got this lovely samphire here, so green, just growing naturally, and that which we're going to pick some of this and we'll take it back and we'll use it with dinner tonight. We caught some beautiful fish earlier, and this stuff sauteed in a pan, absolutely delicious. So that's the best thing about going out in the wild, and the amount of things we can find that we can take home and eat is just out of this world. Samphire, guys. All right, so we're down here in the wild. It doesn't get any more wild than this. And I'll tell you what, it's muddy. There's a nice little creek running straight from the ocean here. We're at the back of Swan Lake. Absolutely gorgeous, guys. Now, what I'm gonna do is I wanna get some crab traps out and hope to get a really nice muddy, which we can take back, chuck it in the wok and cook something spectacular with it. So, for those that don't know how to set up a crab trap, we've got this here, and all the poles, you know, they're all completely hanging at the moment. And what we want to do is we just want to bring them round. We don't want any line stuck to the ends of them. We just want it to go straight in, and it just clicks straight in. So we can go around with our trap, flip around, plug her in. Now this morning we were out fishing on the beach and we caught some gorgeous salmon. Now those salmon we've decided to use in our traps because we're away on a trip for a few days, so we're definitely going to catch more fish. So today we're going to put half a salmon in, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So you can see now we've got our trap, got our nice area behind here in the creek, which is really deep, and hopefully there's some big crabs lurking around in the deep. So we've got our trap. Now I've got a little basket here, and we're gonna cut up half a salmon, and we're gonna whack the tail in this end. Now, river systems like this, very prone to eels and, you know, other creatures which want to get in and steal your bait, and we really don't want it to get out of our trap. So we want to make sure that the bait's in there nice and tight with inside this bag, and we're going to drop this trap out there. So I've got an Australian salmon which I caught earlier. This little puppy here, and we're just going to cut it in half. Just like so. And we want to put it inside of our bag, and we'll intertwine the rope on the inside, and we'll keep it nice and locked shut so nothing can come in and steal it. So we've got our tail, we're just going to whack it through here, intertwine it right the way through and tie her on up. Now, mud crabs aren't like a sand crab or a blue swimmer crab. Very delicate, beautiful meat, and when you know you've got one, you've got one. They have massive claws, and the meat in them is absolutely phenomenal. Sweet and delicious. So generally Asians love to do dishes with them where they're either stir frying them, putting them in the wok, Singapore crab, and that you'll find them in plenty of Chinese restaurants around New South Wales. But today we're going to show you how Cook It Like Crawley does it in the wild. So we've got our tail in here. Now we've got the other part of our salmon. It's going to come up through its gill, and it's going to thread string up through its mouth. So we've got a little bit of fish in the water as well as the tail. So I'm just going to close her on up, and then we can get it in our trap and tie her on up. So on the inside here, we just want to bring it in. We want to tie it at the top so it dangles down through our trap, and then in the sides here, this is where the crabs come in. So they come through here and they can't really get out. Once they're in there, it's like jailbait. They really can't escape. So we've got our fish here. We're just going to tie her on up. Just like that. And they won't get away. Now, we can attract other species of fish which can get into them as well. And we're just going to close it off. Now we can see that bait is just hanging there, ready to go, and that crab's delight. So we're just going to hook that on the edge here. And we have one crab trap ready to hit the water. So I'm going to cut myself some line and we can get it on in. So we've got our crab trap. We're in this beautiful spot here behind me, and hopefully we get ourselves some absolutely cracker mud crabs. So we're going to leave this here and we'll leave it overnight and come back tomorrow and see what we've got. Now, to be compliant in New South Wales with recreational fishing, we've got a float which we're going to attach, so everything's all hunky-dory. So let's get this trap in the water. And it's gone. So we're just going to tie her up to the tree here. We don't really want to lose too much. Don't want to do it too close, just in case the water levels come up overnight. We're just going to attach it to a tree. And we're going to come back tomorrow. So that's how it's done, setting a crab trap, getting it out and catching crabs. So we're on our way back from setting our traps, and I tell you what, Mother Nature really turns it on in the wild. The amount of produce and ingredients which are for picking, and it's all free. We're down here, and I tell you what, this afternoon has been like walking the yellow brick road. Surprises all the way along. We've got warrigal greens. What a fantastic leaf to have with fresh seafood. Pop it in a salad. And we've just found this lovely little patch sitting here, just growing away, lush, green, moist and fresh. All these tender little leaves, absolutely beautiful in a salad. Now, over the years, as a chef, it's really cool to be able to use such ingredients. Now, some people, I said, you know, I've worked with guys in the past where they've used them like vine leaves and that, and made a lovely filling on the inside and roll them up. You could sit them on a bed, on a nice plate, and that as a canapé. And you could sashimi some fish on it with some coriander and some beautiful dressing on it. And that is an absolute work of art. Now, what we're going to do, because these are so gorgeous, we're going to take a few of these and we're going to make a really delicious salad. Because we're so close to the river system here, it's nice and salty. It's got that lovely saltiness to it. It's got that nice pepperiness underneath. So this is going to go absolutely brilliantly with some lemon, some vinegar, some nice fresh fruit and veg from my mate Mo. And I tell you what, it doesn't get any better than this out in the wild. After a long day down at Sussex Inlet and catching some beautiful salmon, we caught some lovely Port Jackson sharks which got released and some lovely whiting. I want to show you how important it is to use such underrated fish such as Australian salmon. A lot of people would tell you that they need to use them for bait or throw them back, and they wouldn't generally use them very often. They'd use it more as a bait fish than anything else. So today we're going to show you exactly what we do with Australian salmon, and we're going to cook a lovely little sandwich which, after a massive day of filming out in the wild, we've decided to do a nice little katsu sandwich. So we're going to show you exactly how it's done, and we're going to start by filleting the fish. So I'm just going to run my knife just behind the wing and the gill here. We've got this lovely little fish. We caught some nice big ones, but this one fits perfectly in my pan and we absolutely love it. It's been an amazing trip down on the south coast, staying at Surfside Holiday Park down at Cadmira Beach, and that really close to all the action whilst we're fishing. So we've got this beautiful tender fish which we're just going to fillet one side. Now I'm going to do one side for now because that's all I need, and then we'll go later on and cook some more. So coming down the spine, just like so. We've already cut around our wing, and now we can come back along the belly and take this beautiful fillet off. So just running our knife down. Now, for appearance, I'm going to keep the tail on this one. So I'm just going to nip through the tail here. Just come back under the tail. And there we have a beautiful fillet of Australian salmon. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to clean it up nicely, and we're going to chuck it in some beautiful crumbs. We're going to add some lemon zest, we're going to add some thyme, and we're going to crumb it up, and we're going to cook it in some real hot butter, which is absolutely delicious. We love our butter, and I'm going to show you exactly how to cook the perfect Australian salmon, which is going to taste absolutely delicious. So it looks like we've got a couple of rowers here. They might even get lucky, and we'll give them one to try themselves. So we're just going to finish filleting this fish, coming along the backbone, keeping the bones out of it as well, because it's not like we're eating it on the dinner plate. So we want to get all those bones out, because we really don't want to get bones in our throat whilst eating it in a sandwich. So just going to come back behind this wing, just like so. And filleting your fish like this, you keep them nice and clean. I haven't removed any of the guts yet. I've got beautiful clean fillets which haven't got any mess on them whatsoever. Now, because we've been out in the wild all day fishing, I decided to bleed them when we first caught them, and we also scaled them down on the beach. So all those scales run back into the water, and we've got perfect burley going, and that scent going back out into the beach. So just taking off this last fillet here. I absolutely adore eating Australian salmon. It's just one of those fish which, if treated correctly, whether you're eating it straight after catching or bleeding your fish and eating it within 10 hours, it is an absolutely amazing fish to eat. So just finishing off down under the belly here. And we got two beautiful fillets to go into our sandwiches. See that? We've got our fish, belly still intact, all the guts and all the blood stayed inside of that fish, and we've got no mess. We've got absolutely perfect fillets here, ready to go straight into a pan, no bones, absolutely delicious. And because we've got our carcass here, we're going to feed the fish and go straight in the water. Alright, so just feeling along the back here to make sure that we've got no little feather bones sticking out, which we're going to get caught in our throat. And it looks like I've done an absolutely brilliant job of filleting these fish. Got a couple of little bones there, and we're done. So just trimming up this outside, and there we have it, they're done. So next we want to crumb these beautiful fillets. So I'm just going to pop these over here, and I'm going to show you the next step. So I've got some flour, I've got some eggs, and I've got some breadcrumbs. I'm using panko crumbs today. You can take some fresh crumbs with you if you really wanted to. Give them a good blend up, some day old bread from your baker before you go away camping. But we're going to do it nice and simple today. So I've got 3 eggs here. There we go, so that's our eggs beaten. I've got some flour here as well, and now I've got my breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to do these herbs nice and simply. Just got some fresh thyme. I'm just going to cut it up nice and rough. And that's going to give our crumb a beautiful flavour. So, got our thyme, that can go in the bowl. I've also got some Olsen sea salt, one of my favourite salts to use. We'll season our crumb up so we don't have to season the fish afterwards. Now I'm going to add some pepper to my crumbs as well, a nice coarse grind. Really season those crumbs up. We don't need to do anything else to the fish. And remember, when it comes to cooking seafood, you want to let the seafood sing, because it has such a beautiful flavour. So there we go, we've got our pepper. Now I've got some lemon here. I'm just going to zest the lemon. I don't need to use the inside of the lemon till the end, and I'm just going to squeeze a little bit over before we make our sandwiches with this gorgeous salmon. We've seasoned our crumbs, we've added some lemon zest, we've added our thyme, and we'll just give that a nice mix. And there we have it. Our crumbs are ready to go, so we can get our pan hot. We're just using a little gas mate today, and we'll get that pan preheating. So with my flour, just want to coat these fillets, give them a really good coating in flour. Get it into all the crevices of the fish. We want this crumb to really stick to the fish. So there's one fillet and two fillets. Just like that. Delicious. I've just got some egg wash down here, which we did before. Let's sit that there for a second. We just want to coat this fish nicely in the butter. And all that flour to be coated and make it much easier to crumb. We'll get a nice, even, consistent coating all over the fish. Into the bowl. Just like that, look at that. Absolutely gorgeous crumb Australian salmon. And when we eat it, you'll really understand how good Australian salmon is to eat. So just going to pop that one there. So when cooking crumb fish, you want to do it on a medium heat. We really don't want to cook it on a too high heat, because the fish won't cook, the crumbs will go black, and then you've ruined the only fish that you've got. So we're going to start off getting quite a bit of oil in the pan, and we want to really get that oil nice and hot, nice and shimmering, before we add our butter to the pan also. There we go, we've got Cobra Mistake olive oil today, gorgeous oil. And we're just gonna let that come back up to heat. Now we're gonna add some butter. So we're just gonna let our butter melt. Once it's bubbling away, we're gonna throw our fish into the pan, and we're just gonna really nurse that fish until it's nicely golden brown. They're not big fillets, so they'll cook very, very quickly, and then we can move on with our lovely sandwiches that we're making here. So when putting fish, or if we're making a schnitzel, I like to coat both sides of the fillets first. So we're just gonna coat both sides of those fillets and let them start cooking away. So at the moment I've got it on a very medium to high heat, and they're going to cook really, really quickly. So the next step, now today I'm being quite quick. I've got a Kikkoman tonkatsu sauce here, so for our katsu sandwich. Now if you have more time, you can pop it at home. You can use, it's basically like a nice Japanese Worcestershire kind of sauce. So you can use barbecue sauce, a bit of Worcestershire, a bit of soy. So I'm going to make it nice and simple. Yum. So it's quite rich So I'm going to pop some in a bowl, and I'm also going to mix it with a bit of aioli as well, just to really make it nice and luscious going into these sandwiches. So we're just going to check our fish. Feels like it's starting to brown up beautifully in the pan here, nice and gently. We're just going to give this aioli and this katsu sauce a bit of a mix. We've mixed our sauce up. Give it a taste. Yum. So next I've got some iceberg lettuce. It's beautiful and crisp. Picked it up before I went away, and the best thing about buying the freshest fruit and veg is the lastability of your fruit and veg as well. Picked it up from my best mate Mo on the way down, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So we're going to shred it up, go inside these sandwiches, which will give it a really nice crunch and some really fresh texture to these sandwiches. Our fish is ready to turn also, so let's get this fish turned over, and we're just going to gently cook the other side until it's brown. You can see by doing it on a nice gentle heat how golden these fillets of salmon are. So you can really see how quick that fish was to cook. It hasn't taken long at all. We're just going to slice a bit of lemon here just to finish it off. Butter, lemon, gorgeous. So our lemon's on there, and we can start building our sandwiches. So we've got a nice piece of bread here. And we're going to pop this gorgeous piece of fish on. There's nothing better than getting out in the wild and catching beautiful Australian seafood. So we've got that on there. Spread some of this lovely katsu sauce over the bread. Oh, I'm really getting hungry. I'm salivating from the smells here. And then we're just going to drizzle some over the fish as well. Remembering not to spoil the taste of this gorgeous fish. We've got our fish on the bread, and we want to add some of this crunchy iceberg lettuce to this sensational fish, just like so. And there we have it, one sandwich. We're just going to finish off the second one here. There we have it, a beautiful Australian salmon, katsu sanger, down by the river. Let's give it a go. Freshly caught, messy, does not get any better than that. Yum. So if you like what you've seen today on Cook It Like Crawley in the wild, go to YouTube, type in Cook It Like Crawley and follow the playlist to Cook It Like Crawley in the wild. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you out in the wild again soon.